If you look at the West, we have updated odds for them too. The Lakers, still the heavy betting favorites. I always want to make this clear. When Vegas does odds, it's about which teams they expect the most money coming in on. That's how the odds are calculated.
How much money they can take from everyone else.
Exactly. Clippers are second, Jazz third, and the Nuggets jumped into the top four after their big trade. So, Richard, what do you think happens now in the West playoff race?
Whoo! I don't know to tell you.
What was that noise?
The woo was like, okay, look, the Denver Nuggets got better. They added pieces that they lost in the offseason as far as like athletic players. So you lose Jeremy Grant, you gain Aaron Gordon, who I believe is better than Jeremy Grant. You lose Plumlee, then you gain JaVale McGee. So they kind of saw that what they lost, they needed back.
Right.
So, okay, Utah's been the best team all year long. I think the Clippers, they probably got the one player that they needed. They got the point guard that they needed, and Rondo he's that guy. So I just don't really think that anything changes. If the Lakers are 100% healthy, which is an if, the Lakers are the best team, and there's no one's going to beat them. So I think this in the West. Yeah. So I think this arms race is really for, can we get there? And if the Lakers aren't 100%, can we overtake them? And I think there's a few teams that can.
Well, I have to disagree with you. Even if this Lakers team as constructed, if they're 100% healthy, they're not the best team in the Eastern Conference. I mean, in the Western Conference, RJ. When I'm looking at this team right now, without Anthony Davis and LeBron James, have you been watching them lately? Like last night, listen. Literally, they were shooting shots and they were hitting so hard off the glass. I started ducking. I started ducking from inside the living room of the hotel.
Wait. Listen, Perk, no, stop. Perk, stop. What would the Utah Jazz look like if you took away Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell? What would the Suns look like if you took off Chris Paul and Devin Booker? What would the Clippers look like if you didn't have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George? They would look like the Lakers are looking right now.
No, they wouldn't. No, they would not. And here's what I'm saying. Everybody else is getting better. You got the Portland Trailblazers, in my opinion, who got better yesterday. After watching them against the Miami Heat without even the addition of Norman Powell, looking at C.J. McCollum, how he's tearing it up, coming back off an injury, dropped 30 in the first half. We know what Dame Dollar is capable of. But then they add Norman Powell to the mix, a guy who's averaging 20 points a night on high field goal percentage shooting, a big guard with tenacity, and he's a champion. He's coming in with that championship pedigree, and he's battle tested. What I'm saying right now is that the others for the Lakers don't look that convincing to me no more. Like Caldwell Pope is not playing well. Marcus Gasol is not playing well. We had, Taylor Horton Tucker, he's shown us flashes in a small sample size, but he hasn't been playing well. And you can't sit up here and tell me that the Lakers are a top 5 team right now in the Western Conference.
I said if the Lakers are 100% healthy. Now, when you're talking about 100% healthy, you're talking about Anthony Davis before his injury was probably one of the leading guys, Rudy Gobert, but top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron James was leading the race for MVP. You lose one of they had the number 1 rated defense. They had come on, Perk. I'm not saying that the guys have played well in their absence. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you get LeBron James back, he makes people around him better. You get Anthony Davis back, he cleans up a lot of defensive mistakes on the other end. So they both make their teammates broadly better. I agree with you, though.
Well, I'm going to say this. You cool with Braun. I'm cool with Braun. You got his number. You call and ask him what's his level of concern right now after watching this Lakers team play without him. You ask him what's his level of concern. Because to me, the role players are not stepping up. And this is why I said yesterday that if I'm the Lakers front office, I am making that trade for Kyle Lowry. I don't care what I got to give up. Are you watching the games, RJ, or are you just coming on here talking about it? You can't be watching the same games I'm watching.
He's calling some of the games.
Thank you. I'm actually calling the games, Perk. Some of us work at nighttime. It's okay, but this is my thing, Perk. I agree.
He works in the morning, I just want to say.
I'm not saying, Perk, that they're playing great, but what we're saying is the addition of these two guys. The reason why Chris Paul was an MVP is when you put him on the team, everyone looks a lot better and a lot more organized. You put Braun on the court, they're going to look a lot better and a lot more organized.
So I'm going to give the two of you I'm going to give the two of you a commercial break to figure this out.
We're not going to agree.
Producer Danny knows that, hey, we could just let this go. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.